What's up? It's TeleTay checking in with another episode of TeleTayTV. Proper warm-up today. Walking up the shoulder. I got the new TX Pros on my feet. In this video, I'd like to talk about the features, the fit, and the performance of the new TX Pro. Now, first off, on the features, let's talk about the obvious. Completely new, replacing the legacy TX Pro. 3-buckle design, 62-degree range of motion, quite a bit lighter than the previous gen of TX Pro. New design on the buckle system, power strap system, walk mode system. It utilizes a shorter boot sole length. This boot has an adjustable spoiler, micro adjust on the buckles, a brand new Intuition thermal mold liner that has additional flex zones in the toe and behind the heel for telemark turns and walkability on the skin track. Also got the new Bandits paired up with the TX Pros today. Now, I have been skiing these for, well, it depends on which way you want to look at it. I was fortunate enough to be involved in the kind of testing of and development of this boot. So I've skied a lot of different versions over the last couple winters. This is probably day maybe 7 on the production version. Now, initial impressions out of the box was very slick looking. The new design looks super modern, super fresh. Like most ski boots straight out of the box, they feel stiff right away. Initial impressions on fit was they felt very similar to my fit in the old TX Pro, TX Comp line. I have the same exact size I skied, which is 27. I'm a big fan of this reversed toe buckle. I think that with this buckle, especially on like boot packs and stuff, on the old design, the buckle would have a tendency to open up, which is just kind of annoying. I don't really run this buckle with a lot of pressure. I don't really like a lot of pressure on the top of my foot personally. So sometimes like just having that up and loose, at least it's not in the way. On the old design, if that buckle came undone, it was kind of flopping all over the place. Now we've got the ratchet style mid strap, which I think is an upgrade. It's a little bit easier to adjust. The old Q-Link style didn't really give me too many problems, but I think this is a little bit simpler. The 3-buckle design, again, to be honest, I think the cuff height is very similar. And in terms of performance of this boot, especially compared to the old boot, like after the boot has broken in, I think the flex this way is very similar. I think the new design of the torsion bridge frame is quite a bit stiffer, especially laterally. Like as I go to get the ski on edge, the boot feels super precise that way. I've seen a lot of other comments and videos online saying that they think the boot is soft in the bellows and stiff in the cuff. I think that's a misconception. In my opinion, that cuff is flexible, but the boot is stiff in the ankle. Now, again, I do think this breaks in. Maybe I can show a side-by-side comparison of like the boot flexing in 3 places. I think that's a really crucial part of a telemark boot, is to be able to flex in 3 places, because you know the nature of a dynamic telemark stance is obviously I'm bending at the toes, I'm bending at the ankle, I'm bending at my knee, I'm bending at the hip. Like having those 3 points in a ski boot, those 3 points in a tele boot are very, very important, because it allows me to drive the ski and flex the binding and get into a good, you know, dynamic, athletic telemark stance. I would say on the hard pack, you definitely notice the stiffness of the boot laterally. Like on firm snow, like I would say these boots take almost less effort to ski from the skier because the smaller inputs are more precise and more powerful. I think like anytime we're upgrading or changing ski gear, like it's gonna take a little bit of time to get used to it. You know, however long we've been tele skiing on our old setups, like we're very comfortable with that. The gear's very broken in. The muscle memory is there when I'm going to make turns and dealing with different conditions on the mountain. And when you change a variable, which potentially is just a boot, potentially is a boot and a binding, potentially is a ski boot binding, like if the more variables I'm changing, the harder it is I'm gonna have, you know, time adjusting to the new setup. I think this TX Pro is like the best 50-50 boot. Obviously the weight and the new walk mode are a huge increase for the uphill travel and the backcountry access. But, you know, honestly, the combination of the softer flex of this boot, especially in the bellows, and getting that cuff to bend and that ankle to flex as the boot starts to break in and gets better, it feels just as good in bounds, I think, because there's just a slight notch up on precision factor. Okay, so let me just touch on the 3-buckle versus 4-buckle situation on these boots a little bit. The old boot, the new boot, 1, 2, 3, 4 buckles versus 3 buckles. Yeah, we get that. Okay, 3-buckle versus 4-buckle, I think has a lot of people hung up on, oh, I need the power of the 4-buckle boot. Wrong. In regards to the height of these boots, the cuff and tongue height, the cuff height in the back, especially with this adjustable spoiler, as far as I'm concerned, the way that these boots fit on my leg and allow me to drive a ski, this is equally as powerful, plus probably the stiffness of this torsion bridge frame makes this a more powerful boot. So a couple things of note on these boots with the walk mode. This is adjustable in regards of the forward lean angle. I have been running these in the most aggressive or the most forward lean angle. I think that fits me the best to allow me to feel like when I'm in a static position, I'm standing with my knees over my toes. It's an athletic, ready to ski position. The spoiler on the back here is also adjustable. I adjusted that into the more aggressive position, giving me a little bit more boot height back there. Boots are also adjustable with the ability to adjust the catch on the buckle if you need more or less room on the cuff. The new hardware in regards to the bellow guard and the mid strap are a lot simpler, designed to replace things. This bellow guard is a single piece now. On the old boots, it was molded into the entire tongue, so you had to replace the entire tongue of the boot. These ones, you can just replace the little bit that's going to protect, you know, and take the bang from ski edges. The mid strap is also separated with its own bolt to just take up the strap. It does not touch the pivot bolt on the cuff like on the old design. Now, one thing of note with the shorter boot sole length in regards to sizing, as far as the inner dimension of these boots go, like I find both of these size 27s to fit very similar in terms of length and width. Now, the old boot is definitely bigger, like physically. You know, the boot sole length on the new boot is advertised as 8 mil shorter. Now, the distance between where the toe and the second heel are identical. So it seems like a lot of that is on the rear end of the boot. However, that does adjust where our midsole mark is a little bit. So if you're going to be using skis that you already have mounted, for example, this is a 307 millimeter boot sole length, and this is a 299 boot sole length, I wouldn't stress it. The difference is just a couple of millimeters. You're not going to be able to tell that difference on a ski. If you're buying new skis and having them mounted, like, you might as well just mount them with the new proper boot sole length. But if you have skis that were mounted for the old boot sole length and now you have the new boot sole length, don't stress on the mount point, just go ski them. Now, in conclusion, after having touched on fit, features, and performance of this boot, I think the new TX Pro is going to be an absolutely awesome Telemark boot for the vast majority of Telemark skiers out there. I think the combination of the soft, smooth flex through the bellows, tongue, cuff with the power and rigidity of this new torsion bridge frame through the back half of the boot here, I think that you're going to be surprised. It's going to take a little bit getting used to. There's a couple factors with that. Number one, your old boots have lots of days on them. They're extremely broken in. They're extremely soft compared to when you first got them. Second thing is, you know, this is a new design. These boots are a little bit different, but after having skied on them for a while and now put some time on them, you know, recently this winter, like, this boot feels like the TX Pro 2.0. Now, if you've made it this far in the video, please do me a solid, hit that subscribe button, hit me a like, leave me a comment down below. Are you skiing on these new boots this year? Are you waiting it out for next year? Or do you have any other questions, comments about this boot? I'd love to keep the conversation going. So you know how to do that in the comment section down below. Last thing, although these are probably sold out for the most part in North America, if you would like to support me and support what I'm doing here on TeleTayTV, I have teamed up with Scarpa for an affiliate marketing link. So if you're looking to buy these boots or any other Scarpa product for that matter, if you use the link down below, that will direct you to Scarpa's website, where then you can make that purchase. I will get a small commission off of those sales, and that would go a huge way in supporting me and my channel here. Thank you, as always. I will see you next time.